Coming up on the Anglers Channel Bass Wrap-Up Show, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse. We're in Florida for the Rodeheaver Boys Ranch Charity Tournament. Then it's off to Tennessee and Lake Chickamauga for the annual Sportsman's Dream Tournament. Plus, we'll hear from pro angler Bernie Schultz, Carl Jacobson, our Ranger Boats Under the Lid segment, and more headed your way next. Hey everyone, welcome to the Anglers Channel Bass Wrap-Up Show. We're coming to you from our home store here in Columbia, South Carolina, where Sportsman's Warehouse is undergoing another great renovation for this fantastic store. We head to Florida for our first segment in today's show. The Rodeheaver Boys Ranch is located on 800 acres, 12 miles south of Palatka, Florida, along the western shoreline of the scenic St. Johns River. For 7 years now, local anglers have hit the waters for a day of bass fishing to raise money for the ranch. Here's tournament organizer Becky Williams.
We had a slight fog delay this morning. Everyone was real patient with that. They're certainly understanding safety first. We were able to launch finally, gave a little more time for weigh-in. Now we've got the rain that kind of set in, but we're in Florida, so it's going to happen. We've got one of the best payouts on the St. Johns River. Guaranteed first place is $7,500. Guaranteed big bass is $1,000, and second big bass is $500. We also have guaranteed second place $3,000, and guaranteed third place $2,500.
Folks, welcome to Florida. We're down here on the St. Johns River for the Rodeheaver Boys Ranch Tournament. Great benefit a great cause. And not sure how many anglers we had today, but they're spread out over the whole river and Rodman. All the typical places, all the typical patterns are in play. You got topwater, you got punching this matted cover may come into play. Some of the fish are already staging up offshore. Carolina rig crankbaits may play. There's always a possibility somebody still sight fishes a big bag if they know where they're at, or they get in some of these clear spring runs down here. Bed fishing could still be in play, even on an overcast day like this. No telling what we're gonna find. I'm excited to get to the weigh-in and find out. Let's jump. April in Florida, man, how does a guy catch almost 20 pounds of bass?
We sight fish them.
Sight fish.
Probably top, or catch them on top water.
Top water, sight fish one or two, and then fished around weeds that we thought they were spawning in.
All right, Lee Stalby, Jason Caldwell, you had a pretty good day on a pretty bad day. That weather was snotty, but y'all come in with 19.62 pounds. How do you pull that off?
It was tough. We had about 2.5 hours to actually fish to make it happen. And then the weather came through and we were done.
Y'all come out here today and bested a big field team so far. You got over 25 pounds of St. Johns River bass, man. Tell me how that happened.
Buzzbait.
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 Yep, buzzbait lily pad.
That's no fun.
It was rough.
Coming up, Bassmaster Elite Series pro Bernie Schultz shows us a new crankbait he's discovered for cold weather. We'll hear more about Minn Kota Humminbird Mega 360 and Mega Live, and you folks in Ohio have a new place to get all the gear you'll ever need. And later, we're on to Tennessee and Lake Chickamauga. There's more after the break.
This portion of the Anglers Channel Bass Wrap-Up Show, brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, is sponsored by Ranger Boats, powered by Mercury, by Strike King Lures, and by Costa Eyewear. There's more to come.
From bass and walleye to crappie and the great outdoors, you deserve more than old school aluminum. Reward yourself with the quality, performance, and extra room in a Ranger aluminum design. Packed with features, these rigs carry an ultra-smooth dry ride and stable platforms. Experience a Ranger aluminum boat today. It's built to excel and priced to be yours. Mercury, go boldly.
Pro-inspired, pro-designed. Tested and proven by legends on the water.
dominating the tournament trail for over 50 years. Everything you need, one legendary brand. Strike King.
All right, guys, see you back with another Ranger Boats Under the Lid segment. Now we're on the opposite side of the boat today with the rod box. This is what I call my spinning rod box slash where I keep my life jackets and some other little odds and ends, right? Fire extinguishers over here, not that you need it, but it's good to know where it is. You got a fire extinguisher over here, but you do have a single shelf for another set of rods. Now, me personally, I put my spinning gear over here. Why? I ain't got a lot of it, right? I should have more, but I ain't got a lot, so I put it over here, keep it out of the way. But two, if I need to grab it in a hurry, I'm not trying to fumble through what I got over here already organized. It's over here, it's sitting there, it's where I can get to it, and it's perfect for what I need. I keep a spare life jacket over there. I do keep some, I've got a box of bigger swim baits I keep over here. Again, no carpet in these lids. It's all finished out fiberglass, but it does have that traction pad on the bottom. Makes it look good, makes it feel good, makes it sound good, and it's very, very simple and a great place to put some extra stuff you may need. Now, another box in company with that is the day box right here, and you can use it for a multitude of things. We've got a battery charger in here or a jump box. We've got hats, a change of clothes because, well, I'm big, I sweat, I need to look fresh, right, for the camera. We got our paperwork in here. God forbid you get pulled over, or somebody wants to check you out. Got our paperwork. Any little thing you need to throw up in here, some snacks, right? You got some snacks up here you want to keep nice and cool, keep them out of the way, keep them handy. You got a place right there for them. Great little box there. If you have a 521, you'll have another box over here, which would be your cooler, right? So you have two coolers in the 521. This is a 520, great layout. What the majority of the pros run is the 520R. And this box is used for the day box, more or less. Change of clothes, odds and ends and stuff you've got to get your hands on in a hurry, ropes, things like that, when you pull up to a dock. Guys, there's your Ranger Boats Under the Lid for this week. Thanks, Chris. Every angler knows that when there's a change in weather, there's got to be a change in strategy. It affects every angler, even the pros. Here's Elite Series Pro, Bernie Schultz.
Hey, Elite Series Pro, Bernie Schultz. I'm here at Benville Plantation in North Florida. I'm on a Shimano project for new product, testing new product, and we had a blistering cold front come in last week. I mean, just crazy cold temperatures, mid-20s. Really shut the fishing down, and I went through a bunch of different techniques and finally figured out something that would trigger a strike, and that was this little flat-sided crankbait by Shimano, which is new, and in this red color. This bait runs about 3 or 4 feet deep, and it's got a transfer weight system in it called Jet Boost. So rather than a bait of its size that you're typically trying to throw in the wind and it's like a potato chip, you can't control it, you can't direct it where you want it to go. This bait has super good accuracy. It's lightweight but very deliberate in casting for accuracy. It has a real tight swimming action, and it was the ticket and made the fish bite. The rod I was using is this new X-Pride. It's the 610 medium glass composite, and I was using a Metanium 7-to-1 ratio reel and about 10-pound line. I didn't want to spook the fish. Some of the water was real clear, so I used lighter line. And probably the biggest difference about the new X-Pride, aside from the cosmetics, is this new monocoque handle. It's hollow, high carbon, super sensitive, super light. You feel everything that transmits up the blank. So that's my go-to combination in Florida when it gets super cold, at least this week.
When our own Chris Brown isn't on his Ranger, you can usually find him on the road. And this week we find him in the brand new Sportsman's Warehouse, the very first store in Ohio. Hey guys, here with Molly Garcia, store manager here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Your first store in Ohio, Molly.
Our first store in Ohio, yes sir.
But this is not, well, this is your first store as a manager. You've been all over the place.
I've been a little bit of everywhere. So I started in our Crescent Springs, Kentucky location.
Just right down the road.
Just right down the road,
okay.
About 35 minutes away.
Okay.
Went to the Lexington store for a while. then moved to Pittsburgh and went to the North Fayette store for a little while, and then I came here.
So first store in Ohio.
Yes.
Here in Cincinnati. Are you from this area?
I am from this area.
Okay.
So this is home, and I'm very excited to be the first manager to open this store here.
So first store here in Ohio. What do we tell folks to get them to come in this store and experience Sportsman's Warehouse?
We have what you're looking for.
Okay.
So if you're looking for different types of jigs or hard baits or soft baits, we carry name brands. So we most likely have what you're looking for.
See, I knew I liked you because you went right into the fishing side of things. Fishing stuff's my deal. That's where I go. So what are your area lakes around here? I know you got the river, but where else do you guys go and fish?
So we do have the Ohio River, which isn't far away at all.
Sure.
We also have East Fork State Park. It's about 20 minutes from here. Don't ask me what's in there, but
okay, that's all right.
East Fork State Park is going to be your best bet.
Okay, all right. So a lot of lakes, the river obviously here, and I hadn't been back there yet, but if it's anything like the others that I've been in, you guys have got probably one of the biggest and best selections of fishing tackle known to man.
We do.
Okay.
Very much so. It is multiple aisles of 8 foot tall, and it's stacked as close as we can get them.
All the fun stuff.
A couple aisles of fly fishing too.
Okay, all right. And of course, if you can't find it here, we want you to find it here, but if you can't find it here, you can go to sportsmans.com and check it out.
Anglers Channel Bass Wrap-Up Show, sponsored by X-Zone, by Trick Step, TH Marine, Fully Loaded Tobacco-Free Chew, and by Under Armour Fish. We'll be right back.
I feel like ISO Chill definitely allows me to stay on the water longer. When you talk about 14-hour days of practice on the water, that's a long time. And most people are gonna come up with an excuse to get off, and I don't feel like I get that same fatigue, and a lot of that benefit comes from what I'm wearing. Sun protection, breathability, comfort, ISO Chill, honestly, it just helps me be more competitive and stay on the water longer.
G'day guys, Carl Jocumson here. Last week we spoke about how important and how great Mega 360 is for me competing against the best guys in the world. And sort of like a dual pair, what makes both of them work so well is the introduction of Mega Live. And this is the Mega Live transducer right here from Humminbird. And what it does is I'm looking down at 360 and I'm seeing brush piles, rock piles, and now I'm waving Mega Live out onto that structure and I'm seeing the fish. I'm counting the fish, how many are there, where the bait is, and then I'm actually casting my bait out, seeing it sink, working it, keeping it above the fish, and seeing the way those fish are reacting and actually seeing them bite my lure in real time. So they're like a perfect pair together. The 360 showing me the structure, the rocks, everything, and Mega Live is then showing me where the fish are positioned and how they're reacting to my bait and where my bait is compared to that structure of that fish. So ultimate pair, and now to even improve it even more, we've got the Mega Target Lock, which we're going to talk about next week. Make sure you tune in.
Thanks, Carl. Now we head to Tennessee and beautiful Lake Chickamauga and our host, Brent Brady.
Hey folks, welcome to the 16th annual Sportsman's Warehouse Fisherman's Dream Tournament from beautiful Lake Chickamauga. Here we are on Memorial Day weekend. We launched out of Chester Frost Park this morning at 6 a.m. The anglers have been out for some time. We have several big fish hours throughout the day. We've had several 7-pounders. Right now, the fish on Chickamauga are in post-spawn. We've got fish coming out of those spawning grounds. We're out here on a river ledge right now. We've had a lot of rain in Chattanooga this week. So the good news is the current's moving, TVA's generating, and right now, guys, we have got two of our favorite anglers. We've got Tanner Huckstep, who is a guide on the lake, along with Mark June, who's also a guide. out of Talkin' Tackle, a great tackle store here on Chickamauga. And these guys are fishing the edge of the grass line, and they're throwing up into grass. Guys, can you tell us a little bit of what kind of baits you've been throwing today and what kind of depths?
Started out about roughly 16 to 18 foot of water, throwing jigs and Carolina rigs, and we caught a few little ones, caught one keeper, and just couldn't find any big ones, so we decided to come up here and see if we couldn't get a decent limit to grass. We got 4 that they're okay. They're not what we need, but they're okay. They made the team. They made the team, yeah.
Absolutely. Tanner, you guide pretty much every day on this lake. I know you've had some good trips this week. Tell us a little about what fishing's been like leading up to this tournament today.
Oh my God, fishing up to this tournament has been out of this world. We've really just been focusing on the deep bite. Big jig, big swim bait, big worm, really fun stuff to throw. And then leading up to the tournament, they kind of opened up the floodgates, and all of our main river channel fish looks like they've pushed into these little secondary points, or honestly, main lake points at the mouths of all these creeks, and gotten kind of tough to catch. So we're out playing with chatterbaits now.
Tanner, another thing that's changed today, we've got a high pressure. We had a front go through with all this rain, and we got a kind of a cool day for the end of May, don't we?
I'm not going to complain.
Absolutely. But along with the current that's pushed the fish in there, you've got a high pressure as well, and the combination of those two made the bite a little bit slower today than what you've experienced this week guiding, correct?
It has. I talked to my partner earlier. He's catching a bunch of fish, a bunch. And like he said, just nothing big yet.
Yep. We've been seeing a lot of anglers out here working these post-spawn fish. And folks, we've got 2 anglers, BJ and Randy from Athens, Georgia, our longest traveling tournament team today. How are you guys doing today, BJ?
Pretty good. Catching some fish.
How many fish have you guys got in the box?
We have 3 in the box right now.
3 in the box, great. Great. And Randy, what have you guys been catching fish on today?
We've caught a few on this chatterbait, a few off the plug, a couple off the worm.
And a big worm.
Yeah.
Big worm.
Yeah. Randy, that hatch you got on Zoom made right there in Bogart, Georgia, right outside of Athens. One of the most famous bait companies in the whole world. The Chambers, I've known them a long time. There's some great baits come out of your area of the country, doesn't it?
They've been producing them a long time.
Yes, yeah. Now, BJ used to live here in Chattanooga, and Job took you out of town and everything. Tell us a little bit about what have you seen coming back to Chickamauga now versus when you were fishing it before?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years since I fished at Brent, and the last time I fished it, it was quite a bit different, right? You know, seems like there's a lot more pressure, especially out here on the ledges.
Yep.
Grass is different now than it was then.
Yep.
Fish are definitely reacting different than they have been in the past. So.
Yeah, and so you guys are dealing with, you know, on top of not being here a while, you're also dealing with, we had about 3 inches of rain this week. That's why the current's so strong. We had a cold front. When have you ever fished the last weekend in May and been kind of chilly in the morning, right? So we'll take it.
We'll see what the guys bring across the stage after the break. Get your camera phones ready. In our next segment, you can scan to enter the Revital Outdoors Fish Hunt giveaway. It's one you will want to be a part of. While you are there, use code AnglersChannel20 for 20% off your next order of awesome Revital Outdoors products. Look for the QR code on the screen after the break.
This portion of the Anglers Channel Bass Wrap-Up Show, brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, is sponsored by Revital Outdoors, by Dual Pro Charging Systems, by Vicious Fishing Line, and by Visit Anderson and visitanderson.com.
Let's get back to Chester Frost Park on Lake Chickamauga for the 16th annual Sportsman's Dream Tournament.
It's a beautiful day on beautiful Chickamauga, Chester Frost Park. Blast off could have gone any better today. We had over 50 boats, a few late arrivals, and again, it's all for the benefit of the Silverdale Baptist Academy, and this time the money's going for their outdoor education program, and that's our future fishermen, hunters, and that's a good part of our effort is to get the youth outside, and I think this is a good organization to get that going. So it's all about fishing today. It's all about having fun, beautiful weather, and just looking forward to doing this again and again. Like I said, 16 years years we've been doing it, and it's been extremely successful and a great relationship with Silverdale. So I hope they have some big fish today.
All right, folks, welcome to the 16th Annual Sportsman's Warehouse Fisherman's Dream Tournament. And I've got up here BJ Talent and Randy Seagraves from Athens, Georgia, our furthest traveling team today.
I've got
their weight,
7.88.
7.88. I've got Shane Frazier and Chris Bradley. Shane is our CBA president, and we got one really big fish we're going to weigh. And we're going to weigh that big fish first before we put it up there. So let's go ahead and put the whole bag up here, okay? This is overall 5 fish. Folks, we got a new leader in the clubhouse. The weight, 20.54. Let's give them a round of applause. Great job. And I've got the team of Dustin Mullins and Corey Johnson with a 5-fish limit. And their weight today, 14.67. 14.67. You don't have an 8-pounder in there, do you? Okay. Next up, Daniel Lewis and Steve Kite. 5-fish limit. Steve and Daniel have been fishing a long time in this area, and the weight, 12.49. 12.49. Next on board, I've got the team with Jim Coper and Matt Windorf with a 5-fish limit. Jim has fished a lot of years with good sack of fish, good heavy sack of fish coming up here. Weight 22.75. You got anything you want to weigh, Jim? It's over 8? No, that's a good sack of fish. Great job. What were you doing today, Jim?
Stayed out deep all day and going to wobble head with a big worm on it.
Another really good stick coming on board here. And this young man, Banks Shaw and KJ Queen. Banks, how you doing, young man?
Doing great.
Very good. Good job today. They've got a limit. Grab this mic. 20.76. Great job, guys.
Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to Carl Schultz and Brent Brady, who always do a great job organizing that annual event. Well, that wraps up our show for this week. Thanks for watching. For more in-depth coverage, make sure you log on to AnglersChannel.com. From podcasts to gear reviews, tournament news, and more, it's truly your one source for everything bass fishing. Be safe on the water. We'll see you next week.